Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to take everything a step further and we are going to find all zeros. Alright, let's get started. When finding all real zeros, we have a few steps to follow. First one, we need to get a hint to get us started. So like what we did the other day, we need to have our calculator, our Desmos app, and we need to punch in our equation. Then we're going to set up division to find our quotient. Then we're going to factor out that quotient if possible. Sometimes it will not be possible. And then we are going to find and list all of our solutions. Fundamental theorem of algebra, ladies and gentlemen. The number of solutions of a polynomial is equal to its degree. So whatever our largest degree is, we've been talking about that a little bit. Our solutions can be integers, fractions, square roots, double-counted solutions, and even imaginary numbers. We will have imaginary numbers, so we cannot forget about those. Alright, we have two examples. You need to make sure you get both of these examples down. Here we go. Example number 1. F of x equals x cubed plus 5x squared plus 4x plus 20x. Now, instead of writing down all of our p's and q's, we're just going to type that in to our calculator, and we're going to look at our graph. Our graph here only shows us one solution, but we have 3 that are needed. We know right here that x equals negative 5. So that's what we're going to use for our synthetic division. Let's get started. Give us a little bit more room. So x equals 5. Plug this in here. We have x cubed, x squared, x, no x. And we're going to get 1, 5, 4, and 20. Bring that first one down. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. So here we're going to get 0. 0 times negative 5 is 0. 4 plus 0 is 4. And now I have negative 5 times 4, which is negative 20. Add these up and I get 0. I am very happy with that. We're going to rewrite this. So it's going to be 1 less than this. So we're going to have x squared plus 0x plus 4. Now we talked about this from our exit question a while ago. This can go away. So I have x squared plus 4. Now I can't factor this, but I can solve it. So if I solve it, I set it equal to 0. Subtract 4 on both sides. And I get x squared equals negative 4. Now, get rid of the square. I'm going to take the square root. But, ladies and gentlemen, when we take the square root, x is going to equal plus or minus. We can't take square roots of negative numbers. So we have to take that negative 1 out and separate it from our 4. We know the square root of negative 1 is I. It's imaginary. So x equals plus or minus I, and the square root of 4 is just 2. So here are 2 solutions. Positive 2i and a negative 2i. There's 2 of them, but we have to have 3. Our other one we already wrote down, so our other one is x equals negative 5. There are 3 solutions, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, first example done. One more to go. Here comes example number 2. F of x equals 3x to the 4th plus x cubed minus 10x squared plus 2x plus 4. Now, we're just going to type that into our calculator, and we're going to get this graph right here. Now, there are a few that we're not quite sure where they're at, but we know 2 of them. This one right here is at negative 2, so x can equal negative 2, and we know this one right here is 1, so x could equal 1. We can use both of those. Alright, I'm going to make a little bit more room. Here we go. We're going to plug this one in. I'm going to use x equals negative 2 for this first one. X equals negative 2. x to the fourth, x cubed, x squared, x, no x. 3, 1, negative 10, 2, 4. Drop that first one, add. Now we're going to do our synthetic division. So negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Here we'll get negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 2 is 10. So here I get 0. 0 times 2 is 0. Add those up, I get 2. Negative 2 times 2, I get negative 4. This is 0. It makes me very happy, hence the smiley face. Now I can rewrite this. 3x cubed minus 5x squared plus 0x plus 2. Now, we don't have to have that 0x, so if you wrote it as 3x cubed minus 5x squared plus 2, that's just fine. But since we have this as a cubed, we can't factor it yet, so we need to use this and put it back into synthetic division like we did the other day. So we'll plug it back in right here. X cubed, x squared, x, no x. Now, I already use x equals negative 2, but I can also use x equals 1. And I've got 3, negative 5, 0, 2. Drop that first one, so it's 3. 1 times 3 is 3. Add those together, and I'm going to get negative 2. 2 times 1, negative 2. Add those, negative 2. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. When I add those together, I get 0. Very, very happy. Rewrite this. It's going to be 3x squared minus 2x minus 2. Now I can just use AC method. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. It has to add up to negative 2. Alright, factors would be 1 and 6 or 3 and 2. Well, neither of these work. So if neither of these work, we have to use the quadratic formula. Yes, let's get excited about it. So we know 3x squared minus 2x minus 2 is our new equation. AC didn't work, so we have to use the quadratic formula. Negative b x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Let's get started. A, just so we know, A equals 3, B equals negative 2, C also equals negative 2. Now we're just going to plug everything we know in. So x equals, opposite of negative 2 is 2, plus or minus the square root of negative 2 squared minus 4 times a, which is 3, times c, which is negative 2, all over 2 times 3. Simplify this, I'm going to get x equals 2 plus or minus the square root. Negative 2 squared is 4. All of this, if you type that in your calculator, negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Times the negative 2 is going to be a positive 24. All over 6. Combine these again, I get x equals 2 plus or minus square root of 28 all over 6. Now we have to break down this square root of 28. So I'm going to just go over here, square root of 28, break it down. The square root of 4 goes into it, and 7, so I get 2 square roots of 7. When I rewrite this, I'm going to get x equals 2 plus or minus 2 square roots of 7 all over 6. From here, we're going to simplify, if possible, right here. This is what we can simplify. 2 goes into all of these, so x equals 2 divided by 2 is 1, plus or minus 2 divided by 2 is 1, square roots of 7 all over 6 divided by 2, which is 3. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, represents 2 of our answers. Our other answers were on the other page when we use our synthetic division. So x equals negative 2 and x equals 1. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I am done. So today we're going to have some imaginary, we're going to have to use the quadratic formula, we're going to have to change things up. Alright, that is all I have for you today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye!